Coming to you live from Stuart, Florida, the greatest little town in the world, it's the award-winning, critically acclaimed Get Up and Go show on AM 1450 WSTU. You're invited to call the show anytime at 772-220-9788. And now, broadcasting live from their palatial studios, here are your hosts, Evan and Bonnie.
And a top of the morning to you on this September the 8th, 2021.
I think I'll go and brew some coffee.
Well, you go right on ahead and do that.
Please stop! Can you at least stab me in my ear?
I'm not going to stab you, okay? Just come over here and let me grab your little ear.
People are complaining. They want to know if you guys can maybe just do it right.
Yeah, we always seem to do things right around here, but I can tell you one thing that's right. It's the time, which is 6:07 right now. Mr. Clock, would you certify?
It's now 6:07 a.m.
Running on pure adrenaline this morning with about 1.5 hours sleep as I got called into work last night, Bonnie.
You did, really?
That's right.
You only got 1.5 hours sleep out of it?
You're looking at it, and this is bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. One of our guys is sick, not feeling too well, doesn't have COVID. So, of course, being that I'm large in charge up there and taking care of all things, somebody's got to come in and run all the video equipment. So guess who had to go in? Yours truly. That's right.
So, what time did you get home?
I got home pretty late because, the games, they run late. They run till 10 o'clock, or so. And then by the time I wind down, and I don't sleep very well. So I got about between laying down and getting up and laying down and getting up, I think a total of 90 minutes of sleep last night.
And did you sleep better knowing that the St. Lucie Mets won? Did they win last night?
No, they lost.
Oh, so then you didn't get any sleep at all.
No, it was
I
depressing.
wouldn't get any such sleep at all then, knowing that my team lost.
No, it was depressing.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it was depressing.
Yeah.
But that's besides the point. But that's okay. Back at it today. Again, we got a 12 noon game at the ballpark. Actually, 12:10 first pitch. I got to make sure I can get that right, or I'll get chastised by the brass.
Are you going to be out there this afternoon?
I got my Mets gear on, so I'll be there, and I'll be there running the video again. My backup announcer is actually going to be announcing the game again as he did last night because he doesn't know how to run the video stuff. So I'm like the only other person that knows how to run all the video stuff.
If it doesn't rain, maybe I'll come to the game this afternoon.
You should.
That's a maybe.
It's going to be a gorgeous day out.
Of course, my chores come first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
And, let's see, I already made my NFL picks, so I don't have to go on Yahoo to do that. No, okay. I made 2 picks.
That's it?
Yeah, and then I do the rest on Sunday.
Oh.
The only pick I did was for the Tampa game tomorrow night. And also the New York Giants Denver game. I made my pick too because Giants fans are going to hate me.
Really?
Because I picked the Giants to have the less amount of points this coming week.
Oh.
For football. I think they play Denver. And I don't know why I picked them. Maybe because I read about some maybe ruckus that they had in their preseason or something about a mishap on the field or some sort of thing.
Okay.
So I'm thinking that Denver will beat them. But anyway, so I picked Denver for this week's game over the Giants.
All right.
Not like I dislike the Giants. It's just my kind of like my pick.
Personal choice.
Yeah.
Everybody's allowed to have one of those.
Well, not really a choice, just my thoughts about the up and coming game and what might happen there. And the Giants fans are hoping that I'm absolutely wrong, which I have been.
You should be a sports analyst because you analyze everything.
No,
I think you should.
I should analyze more, being in the business that we are in.
Right.
But there are so many players, good gosh, so many players on the NFL teams to keep up with and keeping up with the coaches and, what's kind of like going on behind the scenes. It's a lot. In baseball, in the baseball world too, with so many games.
Okay.
And then you watch all these players and lately the news is, did they get the vaccination or didn't they? Are there COVID-19 rules or are there not?
Yeah.
There's so much going on.
Want to say congratulations to New York Mets first baseman Pete Alonso, reached 100 home runs. He's the youngest player to ever reach that milestone that quickly.
Imagine that, right?
100 home runs.
Yeah, and how old is Mr. Alonso?
I don't even think he's 30. He was just with us a few years ago in Port St. Lucie with the St. Lucie Mets, and then he worked his way through the system, and he's up with the big boys. Won the Home Run Derby this past year, and I think the year before, if I'm not mistaken. So he's a two-time champion of the home run derby at the All-Star game. So congratulations. Hats off to Pete Alonso.
Yep. It seems like I did hear his name here with the St. Lucie Mets too, like you said, not too long ago.
Yep. So otherwise, that's about it. That's everything in a nutshell for today. You've got things you're going to be doing. I've got stuff I'm going to be doing, and it's just one of those kind of days. Everybody's busy.
I know. And oh boy, if I went out to Clover Park, I would have to make a stop once again at Burlington.
Oh yeah, there you go.
That's where I went yesterday. And you know what? I refrained.
You didn't buy anything?
From spending anything. Well, I looked around. See, I was pre-shopping. I was pre-looking. Topanga's 16th birthday is next month.
Oh boy.
So I'm gonna be that. I'm gonna be that stepmom. It's kind of like you don't know what to get for somebody's 16th, and you know that Mama and Papa might beat you with what they're getting anyway, and you can't really think about that.
I got the best thing you can give a 16-year-old. The best thing, and it's what every 16-year-old likes this. Every single one. A
season pass to Universal.
No.
A season pass to SeaWorld.
Cold, hard
liquor.
Cash. if you're giving liquor to a 16, if you're giving liquor to a 16-year-old, I'm walking out that door because I don't want to have nothing to do with that. I do not want to have nothing to do with that.
Well, I hope she's not listening because
I don't think so.
I looked around. Those kids over in DeLand do watch us on Facebook Live now.
They do?
Ever since we were talking about them.
Oh my gosh! All right,
they have a feeling we might be talking about them again,
like we are this morning. But yeah, cold hard cash. That's what we give. Pretty much ours is we just put cash in an envelope, put it in a card, and happy birthday, Merry Christmas, whatever. And this way, you know what? You can't go wrong with cold hard cash because then they can go out and buy whatever the heck they want.
Yeah.
And you can't get it wrong.
You see, I might really be spoiling her this time because I might get her multiple things that I spotted. Mm-hmm. And a gift card to somewhere maybe that she likes, or maybe, like a gift card even to Walmart or, anywhere where she can go and spend on what she wants. I'm going to get her multiple little gifts, I think, and a gift card because this is 16.
Do they have a Forever 21 up in DeLand?
I think they do.
Great store for teenagers.
And if they don't have it in DeLand or that area, they probably have it in Daytona.
They have one in the mall here, Treasure Coast Mall, Forever 21. Great store for teenagers.
Yeah, and I haven't been to Forever 21 for a while,
mm-hmm.
and I actually like some of the clothing that's in there. Because
stuff.
I'm Forever 21 too.
That's true.
And,
you don't age. You're like fine wine. With age, you only get better.
I don't know about that. Well, man, the clothes they had in Burlington though yesterday, and the shoes. I'm a Nike girl, and I like Nike running shoes.
Mm-hmm. Did you find any?
I wanted to buy these Pumas that I saw.
Oh, you're switching. You're a trader.
Oh, these shoes were nice. And they had sweet Fila shoes. Is that how you pronounce the Fila?
Yeah, Fila. That's
the Fila?
Yeah.
Man, they had some great Fila shoes that I would have purchased. I wanted to purchase like everything.
Oh, why didn't you?
But, I had very
Just
little.
Take the plastic out.
I had very little cash on me. And I've got to say, within the last 3 or 4 weeks, I probably paid back at least $700 to $800 on my credit card.
Oh, my.
So I told myself, why go back? Why keep spending? You want this card to go to zero. Why stop now?
Okay. Wow.
I got it.
And the answer to that?
Yeah.
Keep adding more to the credit card. Get more in debt. There you go. There's your answer.
Yeah, I got home and I told Gary I saw a lot of T-shirts and stuff for him I wanted to buy. And he goes, you didn't buy it? Boy, are you cheap?
Oh, my gosh.
Are you cheap?
Jeez. I have been on a tear as of late on Amazon, but I have a method to my madness. See, I have a little side hustle that I have a separate bank account.
Oh, a side hustle that
Yeah, I have a
pays
little-
for it anyway.
Yeah, I have a side hustle.
So you
I'm
can
not going to
spend
say
that.
I'm not going to say what that side hustle is.
Okay.
But I have a side hustle.
And so you can kind of spend that money guilt free.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's my side hustle. I have like the separate bank account
Right.
that Rachel does know about. It's called my backup account. And that's where I keep my like play money, my side hustle money. So what I do is, see, I love earning Sky Miles on my Delta Sky Miles American Express because I can convert those miles into free airline tickets. So what I do is I will go on Amazon and I will buy whatever it is I want, use my American Express, and then I'll take the side hustle money and pay the American Express off like within an hour.
Ah, yeah.
Done and over with.
Wonderful. That's smart.
And then I get the miles. That's what I do. And see, Gavin I got him an American Express card. He has his own credit card. And what he does now is instead of using his bank card, he has his own Sky Miles account. So he charges everything on American Express. And then when the bill comes, he just pays it off and he's building up his bank of miles on his account.
You know, it's important for young people to do that too, to build up a little credit and know what they're doing.
Oh,
actually, back when I started with a credit card, it was a Discover, and I'm only 18 or 19.
Right.
And I really wasn't even taught the importance of paying it back. I wasn't a big spender.
Right.
I spent like maybe $50 or $100 on it because I didn't know really what a credit card was all about. I didn't pay it. So my credit didn't go in shambles, but you got the calls. It might have gone down a little bit because of it, because not all of kids fresh out of high school know. I mean, there are certain ones that have a better idea about economics and just know better about the world.
Yeah.
But I was one of those kids who didn't. My parents knew I wasn't going to go into a spending frenzy anyway, because I've never been a big spender.
I screwed up my credit big time when I was a kid. Growing up, my dad got me my first credit card. It was in my name. And I took that bad boy and ran it up to like $7,000.
Oh, I thought you were going to say 700.
Oh, no,
Evan,
7,000.
which
I'll
would have
never
been
forget
enough.
it. I had
Wow.
a pretty high credit limit. So I didn't think nothing of it. So I just charged and, charged. And then when the bill would come, it says pay minimum amount, like $37. So I'm, okay, this is pretty cool.
Pretty easy.
Yeah, pretty simple.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay,
But-
my balance is not going anywhere. And I'm thinking, all right, why is this happening? Well, to find out, the interest.
It was all going to interest. What
It
you
was
were
all going to
paying.
interest. I was
Yes.
just paying interest.
Yeah.
So I'm like, the heck with this. I'm just not going to pay it anymore. So I started using another credit card that I got. I figured, what the heck? I got one. I'll apply for another one. So I got another credit card and got another credit card.
Going credit card crazy.
Yeah.
Just crazy.
So eventually I had like $25,000, $30,000 in credit card debt when I was like 20 years old.
Yowza.
Yeah.
I
It
can't
was
imagine.
bad. It was real bad. It was an addiction. It was like a drug.
And once you get up there in the
Yeah.
thousands, like you're saying, it's hard to get that balance down. It's not easy.
So what I did was I just I never paid the credit card and I just let it go to collection agencies is what I did. And then eventually got to collection agencies and started getting the phone calls from the collection agents and this and that and the other.
Yeah.
And I just stopped answering my phone. Then eventually the accounts got closed because for non-payment and they all got written off. So then I had 7 years of no credit, literally 7 years.
You know what? You learned the hard way, but
Oh,
at
man,
least
did I.
But you learned early enough
Yeah.
to straighten it out.
Boy, that was a lesson learned. Let me tell you,
Yeah.
now, today, man, I got perfect credit. My Beacon scores like 800 plus
That's
on
excellent.
all three bureaus.
Excellent.
I'm just like, I'm very blessed. I am. And boy, that was a lesson learned that I will never, ever go back and do again.
Well, it sounds like you worked very hard to, get your credit score back.
Oh my gosh,
And
7 years.
yes.
I mean, I was crippled for 7 years. I had to pay for everything with cash. So that was like no plastic, no nothing.
And then
but it was an addiction.
When you do have the bad credit from a bad credit score too, you're last on getting those loans.
Yeah.
And if you do get a loan, you're paying more than others.
Same thing when you go to get like utilities and things like that. They run your credit and then they see you have bad credit and then they charge you a larger deposit for things.
Yeah.
So credit is so valuable. It's not just for like getting a loan. It's also for just so many different things that you want to do in life.
I think it still
run your credit.
I think it should be taught to high school kids.
Yeah. Oh, I
still
agree.
think that should be one of the major
I
courses.
agree. A financial class has to be taught to these high school kids. They should have like a financial planner or somebody as a school teacher teaching the value of credit,
not just teaching them how to write out a check.
Yeah.
I mean, big deal.
I mean, and you know what else? Oh man, here we go. Small rant for 30 seconds.
Okay, yes.
All right, small rant for 30 seconds.
Go ahead.
When in God's name in school, when you're taking math, are you going to use algebra and calculus and trigonometry in your everyday life?
Maybe when your wife calls and gives us an algebra problem.
Oh my gosh. I mean, who uses that stuff in everyday life? Nowadays, it's 1 + 1 = 2. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
You don't need to know algebra and trigonometry and calculus.
I need to know simple plus and minus and subdivision.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know.
Which amount of my bills go here and how much of X dollars do I have left to spend?
That's all you need to know in today's society. Who cares about all that other garbage? That's the 30-second rant. 6:23 on a rest of the rant-free show this morning, okay? It's time for news, and let's go to the news desk where Bonnie's standing by with the headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. Florida is seeing a decrease in patients hospitalized because of COVID-19. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Service website said yesterday there were more than 2,000 fewer COVID patients at Florida hospitals than the week before. School district leaders in St. Lucie County are working to help students better learn while quarantining. Here's WPTV's Derek Lowe.
At White City Elementary School,
typically it's about 20 minutes of a tutoring session.
Sierra Trabal is putting in extra hours to help students required to sit out.
My role as the quarantine support teacher is to support our students in their learning while they're on quarantine.
District leaders launched the new support system this year after academic performance fell last school year. Each campus has a set number of teachers dedicated to help.
We do know that some students do much better when they have the support of an adult.
With math, I mean, if they are not seeing the teacher model through the problem and work through the problem with them and give them something as a guide, then that's where they have difficulty.
When students are notified that they're subject to quarantine, a support staff teacher will reach out right away.
I call the students or I set up the meeting and they join in onto my meeting and they'll see me. I'm looking at this computer. They see me. I see them.
From there, teachers like Sierra can help students work through assignments.
The parents are receptive and they're glad that somebody has called because it's a tough time. It can be overwhelming.
The tutoring is available typically after school lets out. District leaders say they plan to keep the program in place indefinitely.
But everybody's working to make sure successful.
In St. Lucie County, I'm Derek Lowe, WPTV.
New law enforcement officers in Florida could eventually receive a $5,000 signing bonus. Speaking in Lakeland on Tuesday, Governor Ron DeSantis announced a sweeping proposal to recruit and retain law enforcement officers in the Sunshine State. Part of the plan includes a $5,000 signing bonus for law enforcement officers who are new to Florida, including those who have recently entered the profession, along with veteran officers from other states who are relocating here. Fight to restore federal pandemic unemployment compensation payments continues in Florida court. WPTV's Capitol reporter Forrest Saunders has the story.
The initial lawsuit to restore boosts was announced in late July. Gia Caccaro among the plaintiffs.
Taking that $300 away is the exact amount I'm short on my bills every single month. And again, there's nobody hiring me. I'm a 52-year-old paralegal, and it's very difficult to find someone that will hire me.
The group alleged the state was required to use the federal money. But Circuit Judge J. Lane Smith disagreed, ruling last week DeSantis was within rights to withdraw early. He also questioned how claimants would be paid retroactively.
His entire ruling, the premise that he set out, is 100% politicized.
It was frustrating for Vanessa Brito, who helped organize the lawsuit.
So we want to try to give him a chance to do the right thing.
Brito has helped raise nearly $30,000 to support future legal challenges, which she says are coming. Attorneys planning to file a motion this week calling on the judge to reconsider his ruling. And if that doesn't work, an appeal in district court is next.
I want to see how many times they can really turn their back on people.
State officials, however, have applauded the circuit court's verdict. DEO saying in a statement it was, quote, the right decision legally and is proven to increase employment and workforce participation.
Yep. How about you, bud? Two grilled cheese. All right.
Critics question whether that's true, even as the state's economy recovers. Unemployment is below the national average, and Florida has seen 15 consecutive months of job growth.
A $1,000 reward is being offered for information about a missing Okeechobee County woman police say was last seen over a year ago. Kelly Nicole Sherman, age 33, was last seen on May 10, 2020 in the area of 605 Northeast Park Street in Okeechobee. She has red hair and blue eyes and weighs between 115 and 120 pounds. Police said Kelly has cherries tattoos on the right side of her abdomen and stars on her foot. Anyone with information about Kelly Nicole Sherman is urged to call the Okeechobee City Police Department at 863-763-5521 or visit the Finding Kelly Nicole Sherman Facebook page. And lastly, a 16-year-old Eagle Scout in Georgia has now earned every merit badge you can get. All 137 of them. Less than 500 people have ever done that. And a real hero in the news, a guy in Massachusetts who lost his family in a fire 2 decades ago, ran into a burning building on Sunday and saved his neighbor's life. Nelson Cruz homered twice to become the oldest member of the 30 homer club as the Rays outslugged the Red Sox 12-7 at Fenway Park. Tampa Bay moved 9.5 games ahead of the Yankees and 10 up on Boston in the AL East. News time at 6:29. We'll have weather and traffic together next.
.629 on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. Bonnie?
And for this Wednesday morning, let's bring up the latest highway report and see if there's any action. And there isn't, and that's like a really good thing. So we're seeing a clean, clear ride on your way to work, including the major highways. US 1 looks good right here, too, this morning. And there's your latest look at traffic. It's 76 in Stewart, and in Sun Valley, Idaho, clear sky and 52. Here's our weather at WPTV.
Your WPTV First Alert forecast calls for temperatures this morning in the mid to upper 70s under mostly clear skies and rain-free for the morning commute. This afternoon, highs in the low 90s, heat index values in the triple digits, and scattered late-day showers and storms possible. Tomorrow, highs in the low 90s, scattered showers and storms picking up during the evening hours. Some of those storms could produce locally heavy downpours. Friday, hot and humid as highs climb to the low 90s. Scattered afternoon to evening showers and storms possible.
I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Katya Hall on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
Let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
Every year, thousands of patio and beach umbrellas end up missing due to hurricanes. Maybe you forgot to crank it down and bring it in. Or maybe the hurricane winds tossed it into another neighbor's yard, and now it's gone. Won't you please help find the umbrellas?
Warning, you won't find your umbrella, and if you do, it'll be broken, so you'll have to order another one anyways.
You know, that song that plays in that parody commercial reminds me of those commercials that they play that literally tug at your heart pertaining to the
Animals.
the animals, the ASPCA.
Yeah.
They want you for just $4.95 a month. You could feed 7 animals. Or however, whatever their commercial, but you get the gist of what I'm saying.
They really tug at your heartstrings. They really do. And another one that really tugs at my heartstrings is the St. Jude commercials. That's been on
that one.
lately,
Yeah,
too,
that one
with the infants and the
Yeah.
kids and
Yeah.
St. Jude's.
Yeah, that one gets me. That one gets me all the time, and that's probably the only literally legit one that I would donate money to. Because St. Jude's is an amazing organization, and they do so many great things for kids, and the parents never have to pay a penny at all, nothing out of pocket whatsoever.
And it just makes you upset and ornery when you see kids or hear of kids being sick.
Yeah.
And it does make me upset too, though, if I hear of animals being abused.
Mhm.
That
Abusive
does very
animals.
much too. And
not a good
it's
thing.
all tugging there.
Not a good thing. Let's do some viral videos. So there's a video I came across, and it's actually from a while back. It's a professor who is a professor of economics, and he loves to use the word beef in his lectures. Beef. Okay.
So was he talking about the farming industry or something in his lecture and
Well,
prices of beef or something?
He loves
where he had to use the word a lot?
He loves using the word beef, kind of like the old Wendy's lady.
Where's the beef?
That's right.
Where's the beef?
I don't
Remember
have a
Clara?
beef with
Remember
you.
Clara?
I do.
Where's the beef?
Where's the beef?
Clara Peeler, right?
Yeah, Clara Peeler, Pooler, whatever you want to call her.
Yeah.
I wonder if she's still alive.
I doubt it.
Well, here's a edited version of the economic professor using beef in a lecture.
So they can produce peppers, or we'll suppose they can produce beef. Beef, 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 beef. The opportunity cost of beef, 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 beef. The value of beef, 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 beef. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beef, 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 beef. To get one more beef, 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 and we're measuring the sacrifice of beef, 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 and therefore I get one beef, 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 beef. Beef, 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 nothing but beef. Beef,
I don't know what his beef is.
For him to use that many beefs, though, it had to be one really long lecture.
I
Don't
mean,
you think?
Beef, beef, beef,
just
beef. There's more beef in the world. Beef, 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 beef.
He's just
beef, 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 beef. The relative price of beef.
Sounds like he was talking about something with the beef industry too, or maybe
beef, and put them
he
in the
had
beef.
to use it a lot.
I just simply don't know, but just
Wonder how many students had a beef with that one
yeah, right, exactly.
and walked out because they were craving some beef and they
Right.
needed a hamburger.
Oh man,
I don't know.
All right, so for today, you know, people consider today way back Wednesday. So we came across a commercial for a toy that's called Baby Laugh-A-Lot. I don't know if you remember that toy, Bonnie. It was by a company called Remco.
I sort of do remember a Baby Laugh-A-Lot for some reason. I never
Okay.
had one
Okay.
or knew anybody who did.
Company went bankrupt in 1971. It's a doll that just rocks back and forth and it laughs. That's pretty creepy.
Like a evil
It just
little
like
laugh.
like I'm doing like this,
Yeah.
and it laughs.
Kind of haunts you.
Here's the audio from the commercial.
Listen to Remco's Baby Laugh-A-Lot.
Damn thing's just
You're listening to Baby Laugh-A-Lot. She's the funniest doll you've ever seen. Just push the button and she starts to giggle. Get baby laugh a lot by Remco.
My favorite, though,
That's
my
creepy.
favorite
That's
is
creepy.
the little girls in that video
Yeah.
laughing along with the baby laugh a
Yeah.
lot. That's like really cute.
Can you imagine how old these girls are now? Think about that one.
Oh, these are grown,
They were like
grown
7, 8
women.
years old in this video.
Yeah.
And this video is
They're like my grandma now. No, I mean they're not my grandma.
well, you
but
figure this video is from 1971.
Yeah.
So that's 40 years ago.
These girls are like my older sister.
40
Yeah.
40 years ago. So they would be almost 50 years old.
I wonder how many of them still have a baby laugh a lot. Maybe that they passed along to their offspring.
You know, I wonder, this is just I have to do something here because
Speaking of babies, I have a heart.
I thought you were going to say I'm having a baby. I'm like, please
No,
don't throw that on me.
But you know what I got? This is going to capture your heartstrings too.
Okay.
In a video too that also went viral, we have 2 conjoined twins.
Uh-huh.
They were joined at the head and back. They had surgery over the weekend in Israel.
Yeah.
Now a photo is going viral of them lying in a crib facing each other because they've never seen each other before.
What?
So yeah, it sounds like the surgery with these conjoined twins went
Really?
well. They, were connected by the head and by their
Wow.
back. Now they're facing each other in the crib.
So they've been
that's
disconnected.
facing one another, and
Wow.
that's kind of a heartwarming.
And how old are these babies?
story.
Or these children?
They're little babies.
Wow.
Little babies.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so baby laugh a lot. $500 on eBay.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, $500 on eBay.
Maybe I should get one for Topanga for her 16.
Oh no. No, please don't.
She'd be like, "What?"
Please don't.
I would teach her how to not have a baby.
Oh my gosh.
And you'd have to, you got to carry around one of those little babies, with, like they do with the high school course now.
Speaking of, Gavin had one of those.
Did he have a
Couple of
course like
years.
that?
Yes. Gavin brought home a baby. Oh yeah.
Did it cry or did it laugh a lot?
Oh,
Or did
let
it
me
pee a
tell
lot?
you. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Complete with diapers, formula,
Oh man.
food.
Formula even.
This thing had a computer chip in it. Okay, and you had to take care of it.
Yeah, because you know what? Formula
And you
is
got
important.
graded.
I've never had a little baby and I don't even know what the formula is about. So yeah.
You got graded on how you did. So you bring the baby home and you have to have the baby with you the whole entire time. Okay, it cries. In the middle of the night, this baby cries.
Now, didn't
Gavin
that
had to get up in the middle of the night and feed the baby and
Didn't
change
that
the diapers.
interrupt his other studies and make him tired for the other courses that he had to take?
They
during
didn't
the
care.
day?
They didn't care. They wanted you to know what it's like to be a teenage parent.
Yeah.
So you had to, and you got graded, and you had to be gentle with this thing. You couldn't slam it down on the ground. You,
Mm-hmm. gotta
couldn't
watch
throw
its
it.
precious little head.
Yeah, I
when
mean,
the
there was
head's
so much
soft.
stuff.
That's what scares me about holding a little baby. I'm
Yeah.
always afraid I'm going to drop it.
There was so much
because of its
stuff.
head. You
Yeah.
know?
Good morning. Hi, you're on the radio.
I was going to mention that too because my daughter brought one of those babies home that they were supposed to take care of for a weekend or something like that.
Yeah, I bet you got stuck with it.
Yeah, because she kept hollering, Dad, Dad. I said, whoa, this is your project, not me. But Mom used to do that when I was a baby. She'd call you all the time. And I was like, man, these good kids get trained a lot. I said, you remember that? She says, well, sort of. And I said, you can remember back when you were little that Mom would call Dad's name out and he would have to get up and come get you. She goes, yeah, I remember that. I'm like, are you kidding me?
I think the couple should take turns. Like mom and dad should, take turns. Or, if one is working the next morning, has to get up early, the other doesn't, that one that's not getting up early should step up to the plate and go tend to the baby.
I was the one that slept all night when Gavin was a baby.
Because you had to work early.
No,
or
I just
something.
slept all night. Just Rachel got up.
Pitiful. That's pitiful.
Some
Shame on
people
you.
can sleep through that. I personally, I go crazy, but that's,
I think if I were a mom, just knowing me, I would not be able to sleep at all knowing my baby's crying.
Well, when Gavin first came home, he was like 2 pounds, 13 ounces. He looked like a flipping alien. And
was he an incubator baby?
Oh yeah,
at 2
he
pounds?
was born at like at 5.5 months.
Yeah.
He was.
It would
wait,
scare
I'll
me
show
too,
you.
like if they would be an incubator.
It was freaky.
I think my Gary might have been an incubator baby also, and that had to scare his mom.
You were talking also about the conjoined twins. That poor girl, or that I don't know. I would think she would be a poor girl, but
2 pounds, 13
still,
ounces.
Tiny.
She's still alive, but she's got 2 heads. The girl that's a teenager now, or up in her age, she's got 2 heads and 1 body.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. Yes.
And they were talking about how the one head controls the right arm and the right leg, and the other head controls the left arm and the left leg.
Mm-hmm.
Did they ever try to operate on that one?
They couldn't.
Oh, they could.
They can't.
There's only 1 body.
Oh, okay, I see.
So, but it's like I was just looking at them, and I couldn't imagine anybody being like right there in your face every second. I mean, if you're born that way, you don't know anything different. But
The twins are adorable. I'm looking at a picture of them right now. They're sucking their thumbs.
They're beautiful girls.
Beautiful, beautiful twins.
It's like, but it's just amazing that that could all go down. I mean, like I want a hamburger. I want a grilled cheese. I mean, this confrontation that they do because they only got 1 stomach. Whatever they eat. I mean.
Yeah, I think the ones that you're talking about are they're the fact here they are, Bonnie, right here. That's Abby and Brittany. Oh yeah. Right there.
That's it.
Yeah, they're Abby and Brittany. They have 2 heads, 1 body, 2 arms, and 2 legs.
And
So
you know
they've been
what?
hired to be a teacher now. They're a teacher at some school.
Yeah.
And we can look at that and say, "Oh, I wouldn't want to be that." But who knows? Like the
look.
way they are born and the way they grew up together. Who knows if they even want to be separated?
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't know until you're there with, right?
They're beautiful. They're beautiful young ladies. Absolutely beautiful young ladies. They are.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
it's the way they live their life.
Kids are how move your left leg. No, come on, we can't walk without you moving your left leg. Move it. It's like it's just the things that you might go through. I was sitting there thinking about them. I'm like,
Yep.
But
when you do see the conjoined twins, like this story in Israel, and you see these twins that were separated now and facing each other in the crib, that one kind of does.
That was kind of really cute. They were really.
The wrong lane. I'm gonna race in front of you and get in the left. I'm not cutting you off.
Oh
right?
man, here we go. He's having a meltdown live on the radio.
Yes,
No, I just had a mistake here. I'm in the middle lane. I should be in the left lane.
Oh,
So
okay.
I told the guy in the car next to me that I'm going to race in front of him, but don't think I'm trying to cut him off. I'm in the wrong lane.
All right. Well, those twins that we're talking about, the 2 young ladies, they're like 30 years old now. They're university educated. They drive a car. They have jobs, and they've defied all the medical expectations, and they're living normal, everyday lives. They play the piano, they drive cars, they ride bikes, they do everything normal.
That's incredible, and they do it all together.
Yes.
That's amazing, isn't it? I just, you look at that, it's just unreal. I remember one time I saw a turtle with 2 heads, and I thought that was crazy. It was like,
Yeah, they're amazing. These girls are amazing. So anyway.
Well, good morning, guys. I just wanted to check in with y'all, make sure everything was okay.
Well, a top of the morning to you, Jeffrey, as well, and thank you so much for calling.
Oh, no problem.
Oh my God, my heart melts when I look at that picture.
I know.
Yeah. All right, Jeff, take care. My heart melts when I look at that picture of the twins. Oh my gosh, they're just so adorable.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad they're doing well.
Doesn't mind to make you go home and have another little baby.
Oh heck no. No, definitely not. No more kids. 6:47 on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for news, all brought to you by St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin for the best deals in town on any type of precious metals. Please make sure and check out our good friend Hawk Levy at St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. Here's Bonnie with the morning headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning. School district leaders in St. Lucie County are working to help students better learn while quarantining. and WPTV's Derek Lowe reports.
At White City Elementary School,
Typically, it's about 20 minutes of a tutoring session.
Sierra Trabal is putting in extra hours to help students required to sit out.
My role as the quarantine support teacher is to support our students in their learning while they're on quarantine.
District leaders launched the new support system this year after academic performance fell last school year. Each campus has a set number of teachers dedicated to help.
We do know that some students do much better when they have the support of an adult.
With math, I mean, if they are not seeing the teacher model through the problem and work through the problem with them and give them something as a guide, then that's where they have difficulty.
When students are notified that they're subject to quarantine, a support staff teacher will reach out right away.
I call the students or I set up the meeting and they join in onto my meeting and they'll see me. I'm looking at this computer, they see me, I see them.
From there, teachers like Sierra can help students work through assignments.
The parents are receptive and they're glad that somebody has called because it's a tough time. It can be overwhelming.
The tutoring is available typically after school lets out. District leaders say they plan to keep the program in place indefinitely.
But everybody's working to make sure that our kids are successful.
In St. Lucie County, I'm Derek Lowe, WPTV.
New law enforcement officers in Florida could eventually receive a $5,000 signing bonus. Speaking in Lakeland on Tuesday, Governor Ron DeSantis announced a sweeping proposal to recruit and retain law enforcement officers in the Sunshine State. Part of the plan includes a $5,000 signing bonus for law enforcement officers who are new to Florida, including those who have recently entered the profession, along with veteran officers from other states who are relocating here. Yet another monoclonal antibody treatment center is operating in Florida. Governor Ron DeSantis was on hand for the opening in St. Cloud and Osceola County. The governor says vaccinations remain our top preventative measure.
But once you're infected, the vaccine does not treat the disease. So they're two parts, they're just different sides of the coin. So I think it's both. I think you got to do both.
Meanwhile, COVID cases, hospitalizations, and positivity rates have all declined in the past week, but deaths across Florida have increased up to 36%. The student mask mandate controversy is heating up again today in two separate courtrooms.
15 children with disabilities are suing the governor and the state education commissioner, arguing this afternoon in Miami federal court the student mask mandate ban violates the Americans with Disabilities Act.
Schools have a responsibility to ensure that they have a safe environment. And by not having a mask mandate, it puts them at risk.
Matthew Dietz says they're also suing 8 school boards with temporary mask mandates, fearing they could buckle to threats. The governor has repeatedly argued the legislature passed the Parents' Bill of Rights, giving moms and dads, not schools, the final say over health and education issues, including mask use. Erica Rodriguez, Miami.
The suspected gunman in Sunday's quadruple homicide in Polk County remains in custody on charges of first-degree murder. 33-year-old Brian Riley of Brandon is accused of randomly targeting and killing 4 members of a family in Lakeland. A $1,000 reward is being offered for information about a missing Okeechobee County woman police say was last seen over a year ago. Kelly Nicole Sherman, age 33, was last seen on May 10, 2020, in the area of 605 Northeast Park Street, Okeechobee. She has red hair and blue eyes and weighs between 115 and 120 pounds. Police said Kelly has cherries tattoos on the right side of her abdomen and stars on her foot. Anyone with information about Kelly Nicole Sherman is urged to call the Okeechobee City Police Department at 863-763-5521 or visit the Finding Kelly Nicole Sherman Facebook page. And lastly, Monica Lewinsky doesn't need an apology from former President Bill Clinton, but she believes he should want to apologize for the affair that led to headlines in tabloids across the world in the 90s. Lewinsky said in an interview with today's Savannah Guthrie, "There was a long period before my life changed in the last 6 or 7 years where I felt a lot in terms of there not being this resolution. I'm very grateful that I don't have that feeling anymore." Lewinsky is a producer on the new series American Crime Story Impeachment, which is a dramatization. Let me say that 10 times again. traumatization of her life when she was entangled with Bill Clinton. Through 2 weeks of the high school football season, many unknowns are still out there for teams, as only 3 have played 2 games and 2 teams have yet to step onto the field. Of the teams that played in week 2, Vero Beach picked up a nice bounce-back victory against Bardo, pulling away in the fourth quarter. Centennial and Fort Pierce Central also were impressive, securing their first wins of 2021. Now, in week 3, a number of teams are either hoping to return to the field off of quarantine due to COVID-19 or get their first shot at getting to play, being either also impacted or having games canceled due to their opponents having issues. Our news time is 6:54. We'll have weather and traffic together next.
$6:55 right now on the Get Up and Go show. It's time for traffic and weather together. Bonnie?
Way to the north of us, there is a hit-and-run crash. It's on I-95 southbound in Vero Beach at mile marker 151. Good to see some activity if you're heading up this morning in that area. No roadblock from that. And Martin County here in St. Lucie County, we're looking at a good-looking ride. We're not finding any incidents, no accidents or tie-ups. That's your latest look at traffic. A clear sky, and it's 74 in Port St. Lucie. In Helsingborg, Sweden, it's 67. Here's our weather at WPTV.
Your WPTV First Alert forecast calls for temperatures this morning in the mid to upper 70s under mostly clear skies and rain-free for the morning commute. This afternoon, highs in the low 90s, heat index values in the triple digits, and scattered late-day showers and storms possible. Tomorrow, highs in the low 90s, scattered showers and storms picking up during the evening hours. Some of those storms could produce locally heavy downpours. Friday, hot and humid as highs climb to the low 90s. Scattered afternoon to evening showers and storms possible.
I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Katya Hall on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
you live from Stuart, Florida, the greatest little town in the world. It's the award-winning, critically acclaimed Get Up and Go show on AM 1550 WSTU. You're invited to call the show anytime at 772-220-9788. And now, broadcasting live from their palatial studios, here are your hosts, Evan and Bonnie.
Thank you very much, Madam Announcer. Palatial Studios is an understatement.
If you don't stop screwing around back there, this is what I'm going to do with you.
All right, tell me what you're going to do with me, all right? Just don't do it while I'm on the air.
You're a happy camper today.
Always very happy.
If you need to know something, you just Google it.
That's right. You just Google it. It's pretty simple. It's 7:08 on the Get Up and Go show. Mr. Clock, would you please certify the time?
It's now 7:08 a.m.
That's right. If you want to know anything, just go to google.com and Google it, as they say. Right, Bonnie?
Yep. Just not to be confused with giggling. Don't giggle it.
Don't giggle it. Just Google it.
Google it.
I wonder if they'll make I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they'll make a drink called Google on the Rocks or something.
That sounds like it would be a good one.
It really would.
Seriously?
Yeah, Google on the Rocks.
Think I would
I'll
like
take
that.
a Google on the Rocks. Let's go to the phones right now. We already have a phone call this morning. Hi, you're on the air.
And a happy anniversary to me for my 1 year anniversary calling your show. Very good morning to Evan and Bonnie from the southeast of England.
That's right. It was 1 year ago on this date.
We've known Mark for an entire year now.
1 year ago
That's
today,
awesome.
he made his very first phone call to the Get Up and Go show.
Well, we should light up the candles on a birthday cake. I would have brought some cake in this morning if I had known.
Well, you know what, Mark? I'm going to have the band play a song for you real quick. Is that all right?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. This is for you from Fredo's band. There you go, Mark.
And tears in the eyes.
That's right. Down a pint for me, if you would, please.
And
I certainly will. I think in the fridge I've got old speckled hen, which I'll crack one this evening, I'm sure.
What is that?
Yeah, what's in one?
Old speckled hen. It's a real ale, so it's a slightly darker beer, darker than your average lager. Lots of flavour, and I'd say about 5.4%, something like that.
Oh, so you can have
It's not
5 of them.
overly strong, but it's not That's pee.
Yep, you can have a whole 6-pack, and you'll be well by the end of the
No,
day.
I can't. This week I'm on call, unfortunately, so I mustn't get silly for the evenings, just in case that phone call comes in, and it has all week. It's been the 1 a.m., 2 a.m. calls, so got to be alert and get the sleep in when I can. So, but yeah, I'm in my back garden today. It's about 80 Fahrenheit. Beautiful blue skies, and you can hear one of my neighbours is having some house restoration done. So,
I can hear that in the background.
noise.
Yes, I can hear that. You should walk over with your cell phone and hand the phone over to your neighbor, and so we can say hello and meet the neighbor.
Oh, well, yeah, but that means walking down the road, going through his house, into his back garden, and introducing myself for the first time, because they've not moved in too long ago.
Oh,
and,
okay.
I think I'll do that some other time.
All right.
I'll introduce myself when they haven't got big power tools in their hands.
Do you run into a bear along the way, too? Like a bear on the way to the
No,
neighbors?
he's not in the woods.
You'll never see bears around here. Lots of foxes, lots of other creatures, but no bears.
Wow. So how have things been going over in England as of late? Give our listeners an update on what's going on over in your neck of the woods, so to speak, with COVID and everything.
As per the last time I called in, all restrictions are lifted. For the youngsters, there's a slight worry about the COVID or vaccination passport. They're now saying, because of the sub-25-year-olds who really don't want the vaccination, they're now being told, well, if you don't have the vaccination and you don't have this special ID card, which is what it comes down to, then you won't be allowed in nightclubs, etc., this winter. So it's a little bit draconian. I don't agree with it, but it looks like that this government will, by hook or by crook, get everyone as and when vaccinated. So, you know, and the only other thing that's really come out is they announced yesterday that national insurance, now that's part of our taxation system for workers. The national insurance system is going up by, I think it's 1.2 or 1.25%, and that is to pay effectively for the pandemic, because as you know, we have a national health service in this country,
right? And
it has been brought to its knees over many, many years, but the pandemic has really, really crippled it. So they're earmarking this money partly for the NHS, the National Health System, and they're also for the care of the elderly. Effectively, part of your tax, which is national insurance, is used to pay for government pensions, government care, that sort of thing, when you're elderly. So the younger people of today are paying for the older people of today. So I've been paying all my working life, and I've been paying for the people that are in front of me.
Right.
And now I'm coming towards that age. The people behind me are paying basically to look after me in my old age. But, you know, most people nowadays have made provisions with private health care, insurance, etc.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's that's really the only update since the last time. It's been more political than it has been, I would say, physical.
So, Mark, like you're saying in England, are you saying there's one insurance company where everybody
No,
pays?
national insurance is what you pay as part of your yearly tax. It's a separate entity.
How much?
But
How much do you pay?
It's a requirement by law. Sorry.
How much do you pay every year or monthly?
Well, I pay 40% tax because of my earnings, but it's quite complicated. Up to a certain amount, you don't pay any tax. Between a certain amount and a certain amount, for instance, maybe it's £30,000 a year, $50,000 a year, you pay 20% tax. And then as you go over that, you then start to pay more and more tax until in the end, if you're a billionaire, of tax. But of course, at that point, they all seem to disappear. Quite amusing.
So then when something goes...
So national insurance
when something
is part
goes
of the tax
awry with
for
you,
old age.
So if like say you've been paying into this and so something goes wrong with you or somebody in your family, they'll help you out with that now. Like that means
their national insurance. Yeah, I mean effectively, if I needed to go to the hospital, I could go under the National Health System's care, and yes, it's all paid for. You know, I mean, I could break a leg, I could develop a serious disease, I could slice my own neck, but, you know, I won't have to pay. If I went to hospital, it wouldn't cost me anything. But if I want to go privately for, say, cosmetic surgery or for a hip replacement, because I can't wait for the NHS to do it, because you would be on a waiting list for stuff like that, then you pay for it privately anyway, and that would come under either your own pocket or private insurance, as per the United States. But we've had a national health system since World War II. So effectively, anyone and everyone has got access to a doctor, a hospital, and then you do pay slightly more if you go to the opticians or the dentist, etc.
But everybody has to pay into this over there?
Well, as a working person, part of your tax, you can't avoid it. I mean, if you pay tax in as much as you pay, you do it yourself, then yeah, I mean, I'm sure you can avoid it, you know, and it does go on. But I'm paid what's known as PAYE, pay as you earn. So I'm taxed, and national insurance and everything else that I have to pay is done at source by my company. So it's always been paid because I've always done PAYE, pay as you earn. So it's always happened at source. So, but you know, if you're privately, you know, you've got your own company, and there are, I'm sure, ways and means of not having to pay as much as maybe you should.
Mark, let me ask you a question. You're a homeowner over in England, correct?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people here in the United States. A lot of the people's homeowners insurance have just skyrocketed. Some companies even just going out of business and closing down. Are you experiencing that over in England where you live, where your homeowner's insurance has started to skyrocket? How is that over there?
No, not necessarily. I mean, there's a homeowner's insurance. Is for obviously the protection of your home if your house burns down or collapses or something like that, or it's burgled and people have had your stuff away. You've got that sort of household insurance. The other insurance that you pay normally is tied into your mortgage, and that allows that if anything should happen to you, whether it be death or critical illness, then your mortgage would be paid by the insurance company.
Right.
But I don't think the insurance per se has skyrocketed. I mean, there's always a fluctuation, but it's certainly, to my point of view, our insurance hasn't appreciably changed because of the pandemic or any other reasons at this time.
Then again, you guys don't have hurricanes over there in England either, like we have down here.
No, we don't have hurricanes, but we do. I mean, it's all relative, I suppose. We have our weather systems that cause damage, etc. But of course, in Florida, especially, I mean, you build accordingly. You've got single-story homes that are built because you have hurricanes. Here, we've got. I mean, my house was built in the 1930s, and it's still standing. So it's obviously not that bad. But it happens. It's a rare occurrence that the weather. More likely in this country, people's houses are damaged by flood damage, and that has been getting appreciably worse in the last 50 years, I'll say.
Do they talk about global warming over there too, like they're doing it
You
over
never
here?
hear the end of it, Bonnie. Yeah, never. Global warming is on global warming. Sorry, is on everyone's tongues. And of course, we have a group here, and I don't know if they're worldwide, but they're called Extinction Rebellion, and they are constantly in the news because they're constantly, doing demonstrations, and demonstrations generally fall into a riot, and they'll close off complete cities and things. And that happened in 2019.
Wow!
I mean, they made a terrible mess. And what's worse about it is these people go to and from these demonstrations in their nice big gas guzzling cars, polluting cars, etc. Nobody walks or cycles to these demonstrations. They all use their own transport.
Yeah.
They're all big and overweight.
Really.
Disgusting. Yeah.
Well, Mark, thank you so much for calling in. We really appreciate it. And it's great topics that we.
It was a 1-year anniversary of calling into the show. And as my brother said on Facebook, I hope all 2 of your listeners were interested. Yeah,
we appreciate that. We thought we had one.
Yeah, we thought we only had one.
No, we had, and that one was me. But then I'm offshore, so I don't count.
Sure you do. Of course. You're a big part of the show. You're a big part of the show. Hey, listen, regards to the wife and the beautiful daughters, and tell everybody we said hello.
I will do. I'll go straight in this second and kiss my wife on your behalf.
The left cheek, please, not the right one. The left cheek.
Left cheek, okay. I'll make sure she knows that.
Yes, please.
Tell
just
her
the left
hi
cheek.
and that I think she's so pretty.
Yes, beautiful family.
Yeah.
Oh,
Appreciate
yeah, she
it.
knows that. I have to tell her all the time because it'd be damaging to my own health if I didn't.
Gosh. All right, Mark, we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.
You take care.
All right, take
Love
care.
to the listeners.
Cheers.
Bye-bye
Bye-bye.
for now.
That's Mark Hales, our good friend that's been calling the show for the last year. As of today, 1-year anniversary today,
can't
all the way
believe
from
we've
the
known
pond.
Mark for a whole
Wow,
year. That's
amazing.
Awesome. It goes by. The time flies.
It does. We're coming up on 2 years, believe it or not, in January. 7:21, time for news. Let's go to the news desk. Bonnie's standing by with the headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. Fight to restore federal pandemic unemployment compensation payments continues in Florida court. WPTV's Capitol reporter Forrest Saunders has the story.
The initial lawsuit to restore boosts was announced in late July. Gia Caccaro among the plaintiffs.
Taking that $300 away is the exact amount I'm short on my bills every single month. And again, there's nobody hiring me. I'm a 52-year-old paralegal, and it's very difficult to find someone that will hire me.
The group alleged the state was required to use the federal money. But Circuit Judge J. Lane Smith disagreed, ruling last week DeSantis was within rights to withdraw early. He also questioned how claimants would be paid retroactively.
His entire ruling, the premise that he set out, is 100% politicized.
It was frustrating for Vanessa Brito, who helped organize the lawsuit.
So we want to try to give him a chance to do the right thing.
Brito has helped raise nearly $30 grand to support future legal challenges, which she says are coming. Attorneys planning to file a motion this week calling on the judge to reconsider his ruling. And if that doesn't work, an appeal in district court is next.
I want to see how many times they can really turn their back on people.
State officials, however, have applauded the circuit court's verdict. DEO saying in a statement it was, quote, the right decision legally and is proven to increase employment and workforce participation.
Yep, how about you, bud? Two grilled cheese, all right.
Critics question whether that's true, even as the state's economy recovers. Unemployment is below the national average, and Florida has seen 15 consecutive months of job growth.
Yet another monoclonal antibody treatment center is operating in Florida. Governor Ron DeSantis was on hand for the opening in St. Cloud in Osceola County. The governor says vaccinations remain our top preventative measure.
But once you're infected, the vaccine does not treat the disease. So they're two parts, they're just different sides of the coin. So I think it's both. I think you got to do both.
Meanwhile, COVID cases, hospitalizations, and positivity rates have all declined in the past week, but deaths across Florida have increased up to 36%. The suspected gunman in Sunday's quadruple homicide in Polk County remains in custody on charges of first-degree murder. 33-year-old Brian Riley of Brandon is accused of randomly targeting and killing 4 members of a family in Lakeland. Sheriff Grady Judd says detectives have been talking to Riley's girlfriend.
And she said she had been dating him approximately 4 years. She said he had PTSD. I've seen him depressed. I've never seen him violent.
The sole survivor of the attack, an 11-year-old girl who was shot 7 times, is listed in critical but stable condition at Tampa General Hospital. Weather experts warn beachgoers to stay out of the ocean this week as Hurricane Larry creates potentially deadly riptides and waves anywhere from 4 to 7 feet along east central Florida shorelines. The storm is over 1,500 miles offshore, moving northwest at 9 miles per hour, but forecasters expect its 100 mile-per-hour winds will create hazardous conditions in western Atlantic waters through Friday. It's far from us, but the power that storm has still contributes to our surf conditions, said Cole Failing, a meteorologist with the National Weather Service in Melbourne. The rip current is already going to be high starting today, but the wave heights increase Thursday through Friday. The federal weather scientists issued a rip current statement Tuesday, which Failing said meant there was a high risk of the deadly offshore moving currents. And lastly, Walt Disney World annual passes go back on sale today. Prices start at $399 plus tax. The New Orleans Saints have released veteran running back Latavius Murray. The team announced Tuesday. The Saints on Monday asked Murray to take a reduction in pay, and he refused. Murray, age 31, was due to make $3.15 million in salary and bonuses this season. That, combined with the emergence of undrafted second-year running back Tony Jones Jr., led to the Saints' decision. News time at 7:26. We'll have weather and traffic together next.
7:27 right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. Bonnie?
Now, there is an accident in Fort Pierce on I-95. This is northbound at the entrance ramp at mile marker 126. The Florida Highway Patrol not saying whether or not there is roadblock at the moment there. But that vehicle crash is at I-95 northbound Fort Pierce, mile marker 126. There is one, too, to the north of that one. This is on I-95 southbound in Vero Beach at mile marker 147 in the that activity up that way. No roadblock from that one on I-95 southbound in Vero. That's your latest look at traffic. It's 76 right now. Palm City and Goiânia, Brazil, a partly cloudy 74. Here's our weather at WPTV.
Your WPTV first calls for temperatures this morning in the mid to upper 70s under mostly clear skies and rain-free for the morning commute. This afternoon, highs in the low 90s, heat index values in the triple digits, and scattered late-day showers and storms possible. Tomorrow, highs in the low 90s, scattered showers and storms picking up during the evening hours. Some of those storms could produce locally heavy downpours. Friday, hot and humid as highs climb to the low 90s. Scattered afternoon to evening showers and storms possible.
I'm WPTV First Alert Meteorologist Katya Hall on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
You're listening to the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie on Martin County's Heritage Station, AM 1450 WSTU. Now let's get back to the program with Evan and Bonnie.
This is not headline news. Kanye West admitted he cheated on Kim. Kim's devastated that he didn't reveal this when she still had a show. It would have been great TV. Bernie Sanders turns 80 today for what feels like the 30th year in a row. Fran Drescher is the new president of the Screen Actors Guild. You know her as the star of The Nanny and voice of a foghorn in agony. China ordered broadcasters to remove effeminate men from TV. South Korea wanted to do the same, but they were worried about massive rioting from BTS fans. And the Perseverance rover conducted its first analysis of Martian rock. They found tiny little human beings. Not really, it was just a rock. This is not headline news.
From not headline news, we go to the stupid stuff.
And now it's time for Stupid News,
It's so stupid and awesome.
where we ask the important questions.
Are some people too stupid to live?
Why are people so stupid?
Are you effing stupid?
All right. So let's go to Arizona, where a 21-year-old Arizona man stands accused of a string of robberies. And he's probably grateful the police caught up with him and put an end to his misfortune. Now, at the first robbery, the hapless hooligan dropped his gun and it broke. Okay, Bonnie? Dropped his gun and it broke.
Okay.
At the second robbery, he had to stop in mid-getaway to use an inhaler to relieve his asthma attack.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
At the third robbery, he locked himself out of his getaway car. And after he finally broke into his own vehicle, the cops pulled him over for driving at night without his headlights on.
He should take a course for planning something, planning an event or something like this event, which he had all day with it.
That brought his entire crime life to a complete screeching halt.
Oh, yeah.
Poor guy.
Locking yourself too out of that getaway car. What
Poor
was
guy.
he thinking?
I'd feel bad for the guy.
Drops
his gun. It broke.
Yeah.
Had to stop midway and get his
new gun
inhaler
now.
out. Had an asthma attack. Locked himself out of the getaway car, and then he had to break into his own vehicle. I feel bad for the guy. I do. I mean, I do have a heart.
Yeah.
I feel bad for the guy.
I feel kind of bad that he has asthma.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody to have asthma.
That's why I feel bad for the guy. You know, guy had an asthma attack while he was doing a robbery.
His gun broke. I
His
don't care.
gun
He
broke.
can buy a new one.
Yeah, it's true.
Maybe.
Asthma
Well, maybe
attack,
he
though.
can't now since he's going to have that criminal record or
Yeah,
something going
Not a
on.
good thing. Poor guy. Let's go to Daytona Beach, where a Florida community near Daytona was dealing with a peeping Tom recently. Now, here's a question. I always wanted to know this. They call it a peeping Tom. Why couldn't they call it like a peeping
Sean?
Yeah, or a peeping Harry, or a
peeping Juan.
Richard, or a peepee whatever. Why did they use the name
Tom?
I
don't
of
know.
all names in the world. That's a great. I would love to find the answer to that question. Inquiring minds want to know. But Daytona Beach community is dealing with an idiot that's peeping into people's windows. There were reports of a man looking in a window and exposing himself to women. Now, police started monitoring the area in Daytona, and on Saturday evening, they caught the suspect with his pants down, literally. He's a 37-year-old named Javier Gutierrez. And when he was asked what he was doing, he told deputies he was just out getting some exercise. He was out getting some exercise. So they said to him, okay, well, we're going to exercise you into the jail on a $33,000 bond. He's facing multiple charges, including exposure, voyeurism, and stalking. So he had his pants down and he was getting exercise.
Wow.
The only exercise that I can possibly think of is, I can't even say it on the radio, but you know what I'm talking about.
I guess so. But, wasn't he afraid of birds out there or something?
I don't know.
Those pecking things?
I don't
that
know.
can come and peck at you?
Or peck at his whatever.
You were mentioning, wondering why why they call it peeping Tom.
Yeah.
There actually his name was Tom.
Really?
And he was peeping, goes all the way back to the legend of Lady Godiva's naked ride through the streets of Coventry.
Really?
In order to persuade her husband to alleviate the harsh taxes on the town's poor, the story goes that the townsfolk agreed not to observe Godiva as she passed by, but that peeping Tom broke that trust and spied on her.
Wow.
So it was Tom.
So it was a Tom, and now it's always peeping Tom.
Yes.
Wow. I think we need to change that.
Not peeping Tommy, peeping Tom.
Peeping Tom.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's who that was.
How about we just call him a peeping one? As
Or
in 1, 2, 3.
Peeping John.
You're out of here.
Or peeping Sean.
Yeah, whatever you want to call him. Just weirdo. Peeping weirdo. Let's go to Iowa City, where cops had responded to calls about a disturbance at an apartment building and found 19-year-old Kyle Clark and another man face to face yelling at each other at the top of their lungs. As soon as Clark saw the officers, he tried to walk away, but the officers noticed he had a very large bulge under his shirt near the waistline, like he was trying to hide something. So, when the police asked if the bulge was a bag of weed, Clark reportedly tried to walk down the stairs, which was a dead end. So the officers caught up with him and handcuffed him, and that's indeed when a very large bag of weed fell from underneath his shirt.
Indeed, that bag of weed.
Yes.
Boy, you're a poet, Evan.
Yes.
Indeed, the weed.
Indeed, the weed. He claimed that it wasn't his. Nevertheless, he was charged with felony and misdemeanor drug counts and booked into the Johnson County Jail. So weed indeed, just don't have a large bulge underneath your shirt. Gentleman by the name of Mr. Arnold, as in Arnold the pig, but this is a guy named Arnold, was arrested after he gave a teller his account number and showed her his picture ID before allegedly robbing the bank.
Okay, so
this has stupid written all over it.
She remembered his name off of the ID.
No,
I'm hoping.
There's nothing to remember. This has stupid written all over it. The guy walks into the bank. He's going to rob the bank. But before he robs the bank, he gave the teller his account number and showed the teller his picture ID before robbing the bank. Now, after checking his balance, he allegedly handed over the piece of paper with a note that says, "I have a gun. Give me all the money in your drawer." He walked out of the bank with almost $600, but was arrested after it turned out the account number and picture ID he gave were really his own.
His true ID.
His true ID. Now he's in custody in Anchorage, Alaska, in the jail, probably in an igloo.
And he only walked out with $600.
$600.
Yeah.
But why would you walk into a bank and hand over your ID and account number and check your balance, and then in the next move, right there at the window, you hand the teller a note that says, "Hi, give me $600. I'm robbing your bank."
I don't know. Maybe he found out he didn't have his 600. Maybe he wanted to get a withdrawal from his account, only to find there was nothing in there, sort of thing.
It's got stupid written all over it. Completely.
It sounds peculiar.
Yeah. Yvonne Maurice. Yvonne Maurice is going for a ride, but it won't be in style. She's been sentenced to more than 3 years in prison for a botched bank robbery using a limousine. A limousine, Bonnie.
She
wanted to go in style.
Yeah,
she wanted to go in style.
With some potpourri.
Yes.
Or some...
little bit of wine and champagne and cheese. So prosecutors charged Maurice, hired the limousine to act as the getaway car for the stick-up attempted at a Citizens Bank branch in Rhode Island, where they parked the car in the Harvard yard. In this case, they parked the limousine. But the teller at the drive-up window triggered an alarm before Yvonne got any money. Prosecutors say the driver was not in on the bank heist. Therefore, they did not prosecute the driver of the limousine. They arrested her.
So they're saying the driver of this limousine had no idea what was going on?
No idea at all whatsoever. She pulled up to the drive-thru. She asked the driver, she goes, I want to go to the bank. I want to go through the drive-thru. So, these limousines, they're long. Okay. They're a good amount long.
They take up a lot of space.
Yeah, they're 10, 15 feet long. So the limousine driver, he's driving along and pulls into the drive-thru bank and, pulls all the way forward, and the lady's in the back seat, and she rolls that window down and presses that little button and hands the teller the note.
The limo driver had no idea what she was doing.
No idea what was going on.
I could see that.
She told the limo driver, I just want to go make a withdrawal. She wasn't lying.
Yeah.
She was making a withdrawal, just the illegal kind of withdrawal.
I think that limo driver might want to pay more attention to the passengers that he or she has.
Definitely.
I don't know who it was a man or a woman driving the limo.
Don't know. It was a female passenger. That's all that I know. But that's one to tell your kids about. A man named Spencer Everett of Greenville, North Carolina, reached an agreement to sell his 2020 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray recently.
Ooh, I would like to go purchase that
Man.
and visit Greenville, North Carolina, because I bet the scenery is fabulous.
I'm sure it is.
And driving home in a nice Corvette Stingray would be fun.
Take the T-tops off.
I'm all about that. Yeah.
So he was supposed to hand over the keys the other day, but on Monday afternoon, he decided to take it out for one last hurrah.
After he already sold it?
Yep.
Did he receive monetary?
Yep. And he gunned it.
Yeah.
Floored the gas.
I heard this one.
He lost control. The car drove off the road and into the ditch and then flipped on its side. The car was a complete total wreck. But thank the Lord, the driver wasn't hurt. It's safe to say now the sale is off. And since these cars are very hot and sought after, he was probably in line to get a whole lot of cash. Apparently, they didn't pay for the vehicle yet.
Oh, good. I was hoping that this purchaser didn't make a down payment or anything
There's
already.
no word on what he was selling the vehicle for. On top of everything else, he was charged with reckless driving to add insult to injury.
Wow.
So you figure a 2020 Corvette, that's got to be $60,000, at least $70,000 at least. And he drives it off the cliff and he wrecks it, flips it, and totals the Corvette. Now, that was my ideal vehicle when I was a child. I always wanted to have, my parents always said to me, you'll own a Corvette one day. You will. You keep doing what you're doing and you'll own a Corvette. Well, guess what, Bonnie?
Yeah.
Never owned a Corvette.
I had one at one time.
You did?
I had one.
What'd you have?
It was.
I want to know all about it.
Oh, it was the one that was shaped like the spider. They always reminded me of a spider coming on down the road.
Was it an older one?
It was an older one, and it was with that really sleek, sexy body on it.
Okay.
And
did it have T-tops?
No, I had a Firebird that had T-tops. That was my Pontiac.
Oh man, I had one of those. I had a Firebird and I had a Camaro, and I didn't know which one I liked better. They were just both great vehicles.
But our Corvette had to be one of those. Do I want to say 1978 to 82, somewhere in that year range? But it still had like a good body on it, because they really don't rust out too fast or anything, do they?
No,
or do
not
they
at
rust out at all?
Well, a lot of those Corvettes back in the day, they were made of fiberglass.
Yeah. So this one was.
Is that what it looked like? Like that? Something like that?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. We had a black one.
Those were bad cars, man. That was a I can't say the word, but man, that's a sexy looking car.
It is, and that's what
right
we had. What year
that's
is
an
that
82
one?
Vet.
See, that's but right around 82.
Yeah, that's an 82
that's
Vet.
What we owned.
And
at one
man,
time.
that was a sexy looking car back in the day.
Yeah.
But the body wasn't metal, it was fiberglass.
Do you see what I mean when I say it reminds you of a spider crawling down the road, like that sexy kind of spider looking.
Oh, and you know what I loved about these Corvettes too? The headlights, they flipped up. when you turn them on,
Yeah.
they like flipped around and they went on. And that was such a cool feature.
Right.
Man.
Do you remember the Fieros? The my
The Pontiac Fiero.
Pontiac Fiero. They don't really make them anymore. I think I saw one on the road though not too long ago, and I'm like, wow, there's a Fiero.
There you go, right there.
Yeah.
That's like a miniature version.
They're like really low to the ground.
Yeah, it's like a mini version of a Corvette minus the dip in the nose.
And it's a hot. You're right. It's a hot looking little car.
Yeah, that's
a very
another
sporty
sexy
little
looking
thing.
car. Yeah.
My friend in Wausau, Wisconsin, had a black one. I've seen white ones out on the road.
Yeah.
Pontiac Fiero.
Those are cool looking cars.
They are. And it's rare. It's really rare that you see one anymore.
But nothing beat the 82 Corvette. Oh, man, that was sexy.
I agree.
That was sexy.
That's like the one that I always wanted. And sure enough, back in I think it was 2007, we were living over by Langfield area in Port St. Lucie, and there was a nice black one for sale right down the street.
You were styling and profiling back then driving that Corvette. Man, I can just see you, windows down, the hair, wind blowing through your hair.
Yeah.
You got your aviator sunglasses on.
Liked
got
driving
your
it to the beach.
Arm up on the steering wheel, the other one out the window.
That was like a Sunday afternoon driver,
Oh,
where you're
man.
driving and you're you got like Patsy Cline
Oh,
way
yeah.
up high on the CD player.
Oh, yeah. Or how about the cassette deck?
Yeah, or the cassette.
Right? They had cassette decks back in the day.
They did. There was probably
8-track
1, 2 in that
players.
car, actually.
8 tracks.
Yeah.
That you had to fast forward through all the way to hear the song all over again.
Now that one didn't have an 8-track. It might have had the cassette player in
Okay.
it, though, if I remember right.
Yeah. Man, somebody go find me a Corvette. 7:48 right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's the Wednesday morning edition. It's time for news. Brought to you by St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin for the best deals in town on precious metals. It's always St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. Here's Bonnie with the headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. Florida is seeing a decrease in patients hospitalized because of COVID-19. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Service website said yesterday there were more than 2,000 fewer COVID patients at Florida hospitals than the week before. School district leaders in St. Lucie County are working to help students better learn while quarantining. WPTV's Derek Lowe reports.
At White City Elementary School,
Typically, it's about 20 minutes of a tutoring session.
Sierra Trabal is putting in extra hours to help students required to sit out.
My role as the quarantine support teacher is to support our students in their learning while they're on quarantine.
District leaders launched the new support system this year after academic performance fell last school year. Each campus has a set number of teachers dedicated to help.
We do know that some students do much better when they have the support of an adult.
With math, I mean, if they are not seeing the teacher model through the problem and work through the problem with them and give them something as a guide, then that's where they have difficulty.
When students are notified that they're subject to quarantine, a support staff teacher will reach out right away.
I call the students or I set up the meeting and they join in onto my meeting and they'll see me. I'm looking at this computer. They see me. I see them.
From there, teachers like Sierra can help students work through assignments.
The parents are receptive and they're glad that somebody has called because it's a tough time. It can be overwhelming.
The tutoring is available typically after school lets out. District leaders say they plan to keep the program in place indefinitely.
But everybody's working to make sure that our kids are successful.
In St. Lucie County, I'm Derek Lowe, WPTV.
Fight to restore federal pandemic unemployment compensation payments continues in Florida court. WPTV's Capitol reporter Forrest Saunders has the story.
The initial lawsuit to restore boosts was announced in late July. Gia Caccaro among the plaintiffs.
Taking that $300 away is the exact amount I'm short on my bills every single month. And again, there's nobody hiring me. I'm a 52-year-old paralegal, and it's very difficult to find someone that will hire me.
The group alleged the state was required to use the federal money. But Circuit Judge J. Lane Smith disagreed, ruling last week DeSantis was within rights to withdraw early. He also questioned how claimants would be paid retroactively.
Entire ruling, the premise that he set out is 100% politicized.
It was frustrating for Vanessa Brito, who helped organize the lawsuit.
So we want to try to give him a chance to do the right thing.
Brito's helped raise nearly $30,000 to support future legal challenges, which she says are coming. Attorneys planning to file a motion this week calling on the judge to reconsider his ruling. And if that doesn't work, an appeal in district court is next.
I want to see how many times they can really turn their back on people.
State officials, however, have applauded the circuit court's verdict. DEO saying in a statement it was, quote, the right decision legally and is proven to increase employment and workforce participation.
Yep. How about you, bud? Two grilled cheese. All right.
Critics question whether that's true, even as the state's economy recovers. Unemployment is below the national average, and Florida has seen 15 consecutive months of job growth.
New law enforcement officers in Florida could eventually receive a $5,000 signing bonus. Speaking in Lakeland on Tuesday, Governor Ron DeSantis announced a sweeping proposal to recruit and retain law enforcement officers in the Sunshine State. Part of the plan includes a $5,000 signing bonus for law enforcement officers who are new to Florida, including those who have recently entered the profession, along with veteran officers from other states who are relocating here. DeSantis said the goal is not to only recruit more law enforcement professionals to the Sunshine State, but also improve morale in this increasingly difficult and turbulent profession. The governor is asking the Florida legislature to take up the funding plan during next year's legislative session, which is slated to run from January 11 to March 11. Weather experts warn beachgoers to stay out of the ocean this week as Hurricane Larry creates potentially deadly riptides and waves anywhere from 4 to 7 feet along east central Florida shorelines. The storm is over 1,500 miles offshore, moving northwest at 9 miles per hour, but forecasters expect its 115 mile per hour winds will create hazardous conditions in western Atlantic waters through Friday. But the power that storm has still contributes to our surf conditions, said Cole Failing, a meteorologist with National Weather Service in Melbourne. The rip current is already going to be high starting today, but the wave heights increase Thursday through Friday. And lastly, Walt Disney World annual passes go back on sale today. Prices start at $399 plus tax. Okeechobee alum Cutter Crawford made his Major League Baseball debut for the Boston Red Sox on Sunday, earning a spot start against Cleveland at Fenway Park. Crawford went 2+ innings, allowed 5 hits, walked 2, and struck out 2 batters, topped out at 96 miles per hour on his fastball, and took the loss in Cleveland's 11-5 win. Our news time, 7:54, and we'll have weather and traffic together next.
$7:55 on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. Bonnie?
We do see an accident. This is in Fort Pierce on I-95 northbound at mile marker 126. This is at the entrance ramp. And we're not sure if there's any roadblock up that way from this accident. Florida Highway Patrol not currently giving out the details there. But that accident anyway, I-95 northbound, mile marker 126 up in Fort Pierce. If you see something, say something, give us a call at 220-9788 at 220-WSTU. It's 74 right now in Fort Pierce, and in Sparks, Nevada, it's 68. Here's our weather at WPTV.
Your WPTV First Alert forecast calls for temperatures this morning in the mid to upper 70s under mostly clear skies and rain-free for the morning commute. This afternoon, highs in the low 90s, heat index values in the triple digits, and scattered late-day showers and storms possible. Tomorrow, highs in the low 90s, scattered showers and storms picking up during the evening hours. Some of those storms could produce locally heavy downpours. Friday, hot and humid as highs climb. Scattered afternoon to evening showers and storms possible.
I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Katya Hall on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
You're listening to the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie on Martin County's Heritage Station, AM 1450 WSTU. Now let's get back to the program with Evan and Bonnie.
7:59 on the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie. We're coming up on 8 o'clock right here at WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station. The news is coming up next.
Coming to you live from Stuart, Florida, the greatest little town in the world. It's the award-winning, critically acclaimed Get Up and Go show on AM 1450 WSTU. You're invited to call the show anytime at 772-220-9788. And now, broadcasting live from their palatial studios, here are your hosts, Evan and Bonnie.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Announcer. Appreciate that. Hour number 3 for you and me, September the 8th, 2021.
That may be the stupidest idea you've ever had. And you've had some pretty stupid ones.
Oh, some ideas are stupid and some are not. I'll be back. All right, you go do what you got to do and come back, okay?
Would you like me to order you another bright green Speedo like Borat?
I don't know. I don't think I look too good in a Speedo. 8:07 on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. Mr. Clock, would you certify the time, please?
It's now 8:07 a.m.
8:07 a.m. and joining us on our line right now, I do believe I've never done it this way before, but I'm hoping and praying it is Taryn Christa, Martin County Administrator. Hi, Taryn.
Yes, it is. Sorry I was late. I spilled my water all over the kitchen.
That's okay. Water's easier to clean up than coffee.
Yes. Well, coffee's too precious to be spilling.
Oh my gosh, that's like a commodity.
Yeah, it is.
It's definitely like a commodity.
And better the
doubt.
water than the cranberry juice or something like that, where it's going to stain
sure.
up all over.
I have one of those tall turvis, and I don't know what I did. I just knocked it all over, and it went everywhere. So I was trying to clean up my mess.
That's all right. No big
I
deal.
mopped the floor this morning.
Oh, okay.
Well,
all
you
right.
got something done.
Yes.
Yeah, it was good.
That's
good.
always a good feeling.
So you all doing well after a long Labor Day weekend? Hopefully you got some time off.
Yeah, it was nice. Actually for 2 weeks in a row, we had Monday off, which was nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They gave us the VIP treatment. So
well, you're in that
bless you,
palatial
Bonnie.
studio, so what else can you ask
I know,
for?
right? Did you hear that? Even Taryn knows we're in palatial studios.
Yeah,
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
So what's going on with Martin County these days? We had the sheriff on yesterday, and boy,
did you? Good.
That was a gut-wrenching interview yesterday. A poor 23-year-old single mom that was murdered by that family friend.
Yeah. You know, the sheriff does an awesome job. We're just so thankful to live in a county where law enforcement is on their game all the time, you know, and we just sometimes take it for granted. So we can't thank them enough for their service and what they do for us and how they protect us and our families. And, you know, unfortunately, when there are those bad incidents, they're able to solve them and get, you know, resolution for the family as soon as possible. So, but we didn't have a meeting yesterday. We're going to be meeting this coming Tuesday coming up. Right now, we're kind of focusing on a couple of 911 anniversary celebrations. There's a lot going on. We've got some references on our website. We're having an event. They're doing a bridge walk at 8:30, starting at Jock Layton Park and walking over the Veterans Memorial Bridge and ending up on the transport going back and forth. So that's taking place on Saturday, and then in the evening, there's a couple of memorials that are going on throughout the county. So again, if you want to participate or, you know, are interested, just go on our website, or you can type it anywhere, 911 Memorials, Martin County, and you'll see a list of different things pop up. But on next Tuesday, we've got a board meeting, and we've got a couple of good presentations. We're going to talk about our land acquisitions, and how we, you know, where we're going to focus our next efforts as far as acquiring more environmentally sensitive lands, those that need to be preserved. And then we're also going to talk about our economic impact that we had done on the COVID impacts to Martin County. And that was an interesting report, because when you looked at it, you obviously could see where the dips were in those months when our activities from an economic standpoint, people weren't buying, people were kind of waiting to see what was going to happen. There was, you know, concerns about commodities being available and different things like that. So, but we're slowly getting ourselves back on track. And that's good for us here in Martin County. And it's good for everybody. I see downtown Stewart's busy. Now with the kids back in school, traffic is busy, and we're slowly getting ourselves back, to a ebb and flow that I think will be our new norm, if that's the right term.
Is it just me, or does it seem like the traffic is busier? Wow, I was out last night, like right around probably between 4 and 6 o'clock, I guess, which is drive time.
Right.
But it just seemed more busier yesterday than usual here.
Well, I don't know if the kids were off of school yesterday in St. Lucie, but they were off here in Martin County. I think we're getting more people staying longer. I think with some of the travel restrictions still impeding folks' ability to go back and forth. At least what I'm hearing from some folks is usually after Labor Day and before Halloweenish, they start going back. They start coming back and they start going back. So you'll see
more.
More people will be coming here. I would anticipate for the winter.
Sure, after Labor Day. Yeah, I'm sure more are always coming in after Labor Day.
Right. So you're going to see a little bit more. Plus, I'm hearing more and more people are staying, that used to go back and forth. They've decided to just kind of stay in one place for a while and see how things fare out.
So many people moving here and buying housing and buying lots. I see lots. I see the woods just falling apart all over the place where I live.
Yeah, there's a lot of development going on, particularly in St. Lucie County. There's a lot of development going on. I mean,
oh my gosh. Everywhere I turn and drive, every block, there's a new house going up where I live.
You know what's funny? You're going to find this funny, but people like on my massage table too, who live here, like in Martin County, find it funny when I say this. Like I come to Stewart all the time. And I always come to Palm City to work, but it's kind of like when I'm driving through Stewart, I go, where do you live? Where are all the houses? Because I only come to this downtown area here. And
right, you're coming down US 1, which is not a high residential corridor.
Yeah, and I don't know where anybody even lives here because I've never seen the houses really. Like you got to go out to the country or something, right?
Well, they have good buffers too. So a lot of your developments off of US 1, they'll have a long drive in. You won't see the housing up against Federal Highway. I mean, that's a very busy corridor. So you're going to want yourself buffered away. So those developments that do have the residential components are well hidden.
Yeah, because I know I've been out to them in the wealthy area out in Port Salerno, in developments out there, out on the water. And I guess, or maybe out on the country farms and everything, if you go on Canner Highway and that, right? Maybe that's
right. You got to get off the beaten path a little bit.
Which I never do.
Yeah.
So it's time for me
to
you got
to venture out a little bit more, Bonnie.
I know, right? Yeah, it's true. I have to learn Martin County more. I'll admit to it.
Yeah.
I love coming to the fair here. The fair is always incredible. That I know where the fair is.
Well, speaking of that, it'll be here in less than 4 or 5 months. So it's usually in February. So, that's right around the corner. Now that Labor Day is behind us, we've got Halloween coming up, and then,
oh yeah, that'll be
Thanksgiving and Christmas, and
back in February. I think February. Yeah. I think if I heard right, it's going to be back out at the old or the regular place again.
Yes, they're not ready to go out. So that is one thing that we've had out at the fairgrounds in Western Martin County. We've got a charter school that's interested in coming in and providing, kind of like the Wolf or the IRSC has technology center, where they focus on one component. This charter school will be geared toward high school individuals that want to learn some trades and prepare themselves for some of the jobs that we have here in Martin County relative to, out here at Triumph, what they could be doing relative to aeronautical, some of those kinds of things, medical fields, different things like that. So we're really excited for that will be taking off. And I think that will be a good shot in the arm for that site to get the fairgrounds started.
That's excitement brewing right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's all good.
Yeah. Oh, and I was reading too, Taryn, like you were talking about schools. There's some stats came out today too, like, let's see, since the first day of school in Martin County, 127 students and 18 staff have tested positive for coronavirus.
Yeah, and we're gonna continue to see those that dynamic. I think. Yes, as of yesterday, our numbers here, we had just in the county itself 125 new cases. And so we continue to monitor that. So, I don't have on here how many of them were school age, but what is interesting is how many of them are in your younger age group. So your 10 to 13 seem to be kind of carrying the load. For those from the age of 4 to 18, there's 73 of those. So, it's just like, but the numbers, when you look at from the weekly perspective, since the beginning of August, they're starting to trend a little bit down. So that's promising.
That is promising news. Yeah.
How are the hospitals doing with hospital beds and ICU beds and things like that, Taryn?
They seem to be able to manage in those their issue is more of a staffing issue. I think
Right.
They're having a hard time keeping people get tired. I mean, you can only work 7 days a week, 12 hours a day for so long before you start to get burned out. So I've not heard whether or not they've started elective surgeries back again. So I think that they'll just continue to be very they try to keep most of those patients at the north so that they can keep their facility at what they call south, pretty much COVID clean. But they continue to keep up with it so far. I'm knocking on wood because that's that's a huge influx, and they've got tradition too. And then if they need to, they can always transport patients to some of their other facilities.
Right.
So they're hanging in there so far.
Exactly. And things are good in your offices. Everybody's doing well there as well.
Yeah, we've had we seem to be we've had our little surges here and there where we've had pockets of employees that have had to be off because they've had some exposure or they're being quarantined because their kids have had exposure. But 9 times out of 10, if they can work from home, we're going to accommodate. We're going to do our best to make sure that we continue to keep our operations as least impacted as we possibly can.
All right. Sounds great. That's Taryn Krizda, Martin County Administrator. She's on the program each and every Wednesday at this time, catching us up to date on all things pertaining to Martin County. Taryn, always our pleasure to have you on the program, and we look forward to speaking with you next week.
Thank you. Y'all have a great day.
Have a great day. It's time for the Precious Metals Report. It's all brought to you by St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. Gold opening up at $1,800.90 an ounce, and silver opening up at $24.34 an ounce. That's the Precious Metals Report, and it's all brought to you by St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. One right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for news. Let's go to the news desk. Bonnie's standing by with the morning headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. Fight to restore federal pandemic unemployment compensation payments continues in Florida court. And WPTV's Capitol reporter Forrest Saunders with the story.
The initial lawsuit to restore boosts was announced in late July. Gia Caccaro among the plaintiffs.
Taking that $300 away is the exact amount I'm short on my bills every single month. And again, there's nobody hiring me. I'm a 52-year-old paralegal, and it's very difficult to find someone that will hire me.
The group alleged the state was required to use the federal money. But Circuit Judge J. Lane Smith disagreed, ruling last week DeSantis was within rights to withdraw early. He also questioned how claimants would be paid retroactively.
His entire ruling, the premise that he set out is 100% politicized.
It was frustrating for Vanessa Brito, who helped organize the lawsuit.
So we want to try to give him a chance to do the right thing.
Brito has helped raise nearly $30,000 to support future legal challenges, which she says are coming. Attorneys planning to file a motion this week calling on the judge to reconsider his ruling. And if that doesn't work, an appeal in district court is next.
I want to see how many times they can people.
State officials, however, have applauded the circuit court's verdict. DEO saying in a statement it was, quote, the right decision legally and is proven to increase employment and workforce participation.
Yep, how about you, bud? Two grilled cheese, all right.
Critics question whether that's true, even as the state's economy recovers. Unemployment is below the national average, and Florida has seen 15 consecutive months of job growth.
Hundreds of students, teachers, and other school employees across the Treasure Coast already have tested positive for the coronavirus since the school year began 2 weeks ago, and numbers continue to increase daily. In August, more than 1,100 students and hundreds of staff in Indian River, Martin, and St. Lucie County schools tested positive, records show. By Tuesday, that number had increased to 1,924 students combined since the first day of school. Indian River and St. Lucie County schools' first day was August 10. In Martin County, it was August 11. So how many students and staff tested positive last week? St. Lucie County, the largest of the three districts, saw the largest number of cases between August 30th through September 5, with 365 students and 42 staff members testing positive for the virus, according to the district. Since the first day of school, 819 students and 208 staff have tested positive. In Martin County, 127 students and 18 staff tested positive for the virus, according to the district. Overall, 365 students and 67 staff have tested positive since the first day of school. A $1,000 reward is being offered for information about a missing Okeechobee County woman police say was last seen over a year ago. Kelly Nicole Sherman, age 33, was last seen on May 10 of 2020 in the area of 605 Northeast Park Street in Okeechobee. She has red hair and blue eyes and weighs between 115 and 120 pounds. Police say Kelly has cherries tattoos on the right side of her abdomen and stars on her foot. Anyone with information about Kelly Nicole Sherman is urged to call the Okeechobee City Police Department at 863-763-5521. Yet monoclonal antibody treatment center is operating in Florida. Governor Ron DeSantis was on hand for the opening in St. Cloud in Osceola County. The governor says vaccinations remain our top preventative measure.
But once you're infected, the vaccine does not treat the disease. So they're two parts, they're just different sides of the coin. So I think it's both. I think you got to do both.
Meanwhile, COVID cases, hospitalizations, and positivity rates have all declined in the past week, but deaths across Florida have increased up to 36%. The student mask mandate controversy again today in two separate courtrooms.
15 children with disabilities are suing the governor and the state education commissioner, arguing this afternoon in Miami federal court the student mask mandate ban violates the Americans with Disabilities Act.
Schools have a responsibility to ensure that they have a safe environment.
And by not having a mask mandate, it puts them at risk.
Matthew Dietz says they're also suing 8 school boards with temporary mask mandates, fearing they could buckle to threats. The governor has repeatedly argued the legislature passed the Parents' Bill of Rights, giving moms and dads, not schools, the final say over health and education issues, including mask use. Erica Rodriguez, Miami.
Lastly, Monica Lewinsky doesn't need an apology from former President Bill Clinton, but she believes he should want to apologize for the affair that led to headlines in tabloids across the world in the 90s. Lewinsky said in an interview with today's Savannah Guthrie, quote, "There was a long period before my life changed in the last 6 or 7 years where I felt a lot in terms of there not being this resolution. I'm very grateful that I don't have that feeling anymore." Lewinsky is a producer on the new series American Crime Story Impeachment, which is a dramatization of her life when she was entangled with Bill Clinton. Well, Clinton Portis was among 3 former NFL players who have pleaded guilty for their roles in a nationwide scheme to defraud a healthcare program for retired NFL players. The U.S. Justice Department said on Tuesday the 40-year-old Portis, a former running back who was drafted by the Broncos in 2002 and spent the bulk of his career with Washington, faces a maximum penalty of 10 years in prison. He is scheduled to be sentenced on January 6th. News time is at 8:28, and we'll have weather and traffic together next.
$8:28, the time right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. Bonnie?
And we bring us the latest traffic report, what we're seeing on I-95 northbound up in Fort Pierce at the entrance ramp at mile marker 126. There is an accident up that way. And once again, Florida Highway Patrol not indicating if there's a block, if there's in that area from that incident. However, it is on I-95 northbound Fort Pierce at mile marker 126. Going to see some activity. Back here in Martin County, the roads are looking clear right now. If you see something, say something. Give us a call at 220-9788, 220-WSTU. Under a clear sky this morning, it's 77 here in Stewart, and it's 75 Port St. Lucie. Here's more on our forecast at WPTV.
Your WPTV alert forecast calls for temperatures this morning in the mid to upper 70s under mostly clear skies and rain-free for the morning commute. This afternoon, highs in the low 90s, heat index values in the triple digits, and scattered late-day showers and storms possible. Tomorrow, highs in the low 90s, scattered showers and storms picking up during the evening hours. Some of those storms could produce locally heavy downpours. Friday, hot and humid as highs climb to the low 90s. Scattered afternoon to evening showers and storms possible.
I'm WPTV First Alert Meteorologist Katya Hall on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
If you have a suggestion for the show, we would love to hear from you. Send us an email to WSTUmorningshow@gmail.com. Now let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
8:33 on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie, and it's time for Randy Siegel's Space Report. Good morning, Randy.
Good morning to you, sir. Well, it was on this date in history that we heard those famous words, space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise, its 5-year mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before. Yep, today, 1966, we had the beginning of Star Trek, which has been an icon ever since. In 1967, NASA's Surveyor 5 spacecraft was launched, headed for a soft landing on the moon. In 2000, astronauts on board the Space Shuttle STS-106 prepared the Space Hab double module to learn how working in space help everything up there. In 2004, we had the sample return from a comet. Yep, we were able to return a piece of a comet, and it crash landed on this date in history after they had a problem with the drone shoot. But we were able to still get good results from the Genesis mission. And then the OSIRIS-REx mission was launched on this date in history. So we've had a lot of space launches took place, but there's a lot more coming up. Space Station. The crew continues to do a lot of work in preparation for another spacewalk, actually 2 spacewalks coming up within a week's time. One of those spacewalks will be by 2 Russian cosmonauts, Peter Dubrov and Oleg, again, to continue outfitting their Nokia module. For the United States, the astronauts will go out to work on the P4 truss segment of the station to install the 3rd set of rollout solar arrays. Commander Akihiko Hoshide from the Japanese Space Agency, along with Thomas Pasqua from the European Space Agency, will don their spacesuits on Sunday to begin their spacewalk at 8:30 a.m. Meanwhile, inside the space station, Megan MacArthur spent a lot of time working on microgravity and how it affects drug metabolism. She first received genetic samples. She got genetic samples from a science freezer, analyzed them to help understand the biological changes in space and monitor astronauts' health. So, a lot going on. Coming up, we will have the launch on probably Sunday, October 31st, of the next crew headed for the International Space Station. Crew 3, consisting of Raja Chari, Thomas Marshburn, Caleb Barron, and European Space Agency's Matthias Mauser, are scheduled to launch on a 6-month mission to the International Space Station. There will be about a 2-week crossover where astronauts will remain on board the station. So you'll have a full complement, to say the least, of astronauts on board that station. The mission teams are targeting no earlier than April 15th of next year for SpaceX Crew 4. That Crew 4 will consist of Kajil Lindgren, Bob Hines, and European Space Agency astronaut Samantha Cristofiorte. She'll be going back into space along with another crew member. So you're going to have astronauts on board the station handing over duties to another, and the largest crew on board the International Space Station. The Russians are also training Anna Kokina to go to the space station. She is the only woman currently in the Russian cadre of cosmonauts, and she's expected to fly sometime in the next year or so. Currently, she's acting as a backup astronaut. Environmentalists have accused Elon Musk's spaceport in Boca Chica, Texas, of being a threat to wildlife. This is something that has been going on for some time, and SpaceX is trying to show that they are not an environmental hazard. They did environmental studies way back in 2011 when they first decided to use Boca Chica as a launch site. And the environmentalists are really still concerned, especially with SpaceX getting ready to launch a new cadre of rockets from that particular center. Companies that are offering launch services for small satellites are having a hard time putting a price tag on what the cost will be per kilogram going into space. Depending on whatever rocket you use, and depending on the size of your payload, the amount of money can differ dramatically. You may be able to find a cheaper ride into orbit. However, you can't find the rocket that wants to take your payload at the price you want to pay. Speaking about payloads, on Mars, the Perseverance rover has successfully sealed the first Mars sample in a test tube, which is hermetically sealed, that will be brought back to Earth. The exact timing we don't know, because the spacecraft will have to fly up to Mars, pick up the samples, and then return it. Currently, though, the Perseverance is stopping at various locations, and they are getting set to continually drill into the Martian surface and then sealed tubes. The first try failed, crumbled, and they couldn't get them in. But now they're in a position to continually do that. Meanwhile, the Chinese on Mars continue to have their Zhurong rover return pictures and get more data from the Martian surface. China has been highly successful in doing that, and they intend to continue their exploration into the future. Russia is examining, if you can believe this or not, a site back in 2018 where one of their rockets failed. A Soyuz FG rocket crashed in October of 2018 due to a problem with the spacecraft. As a result, it contaminated the soil. And now they're still trying to figure out exactly what happened. The work that they're doing right now is affecting cattle and small rodents. So they're taking tests from them to make sure everything will be okay in that area. They intend to complete their survey this year at a cost of $167,949. We also know that Dmitry Rogozin from Russia has invited Elon Musk to his house. Yep. He says he wants to discuss going into space and discuss with Musk everything that's related to how SpaceX is flying. What makes this even more interesting is he even said, our tea kettle is on the stove, heating up the water. So come on over. Let's have a discussion about space. This comes at a time when NASA and the European Space Agency are getting ready to start their Gateway mission to the moon, which will eventually end up landing astronauts back on the lunar surface. That first step on that lunar surface will be a female astronaut in the United States. Lastly, we want to tell you that COVID-19 continues to be a major problem because they can't get enough oxygen in order to use the liquid oxygen for flights into space. Tomorrow we're going to tell you the Chinese satellite as well as the United Nations approving a training center for Russia. So until tomorrow, Have a great day, everybody.
That's Randy Siegel with the Space Report. He's on the program each and every weekday at this time, giving us the latest and greatest, all things pertaining to outer space. It is 8:43 right now. News time, all brought to you by St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. For the best deals in town on precious metals, it's always St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. Here's Bonnie with the headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning once again. Florida is seeing a decrease in patients hospitalized because of COVID-19. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Service website said yesterday there were more than 2,000 fewer COVID patients at Florida hospitals than the week before. School district leaders in St. Lucie County are working to help students better learn while quarantining. WPTV's Derek Lowe reporting.
At White City Elementary School,
Typically, it's about 20 minutes of a tutoring session.
Sierra Trabal is putting in extra hours to help students required to sit out.
My role as the quarantine support teacher is to support our students in their learning while they're on quarantine.
District leaders launched the new support system this year after academic performance fell last school year. Each campus has a set number of teachers dedicated to help.
We do know that some students do much better when they have the support of an adult.
With math, I mean, if they are not seeing the teacher model through the problem and work through the problem with them and give them something as a guide, then that's where they have difficulty.
When students are notified that they're subject to quarantine, a support staff teacher will reach out right away.
I call the students or I set up the meeting and they join in onto my meeting and they'll see me. I'm looking at this computer. They see me. I see them.
From there, teachers like Sierra can help students work through assignments.
The parents are receptive and they're glad that somebody has called because it's a tough time. It can be overwhelming.
The tutoring is available typically after school lets out. District leaders say they plan to keep the program in place indefinitely.
But everybody's working to make sure that our kids are successful.
In St. Lucie County, I'm Derek Lowe, WPTV.
New law enforcement officers in Florida could eventually receive a $5,000 signing bonus. Speaking in Lakeland on Tuesday, Governor Ron DeSantis announced a sweeping proposal to recruit and retain law enforcement officers in the Sunshine State. Part of the plan includes a $5,000 signing bonus for law enforcement officers who are new to Florida, including those who have recently entered the profession, along with veteran officers from other states who are relocating here. DeSantis said the goal is to not only recruit more law enforcement professionals to the Sunshine State, but also improve morale in this increasingly difficult and turbulent profession. The governor is asking the Florida legislature to take up a plan during next year's legislative session, which is slated to run from January 11 to March 11. The suspected gunman in Sunday's quadruple homicide in Polk County remains in custody on charges of first-degree murder. 33-year-old Brian Riley of Brandon is accused of randomly targeting and killing 4 members of a family in Lakeland. Sheriff Grady Judd says detectives have been talking to Riley's girlfriend.
And she said she had been dating him approximately 4 years. She said he had PTSD. I've seen him depressed. I've never seen him violent.
The sole survivor of the attack, an 11-year-old girl who was shot 7 times, is listed in critical but stable condition at Tampa General Hospital. Weather experts warn that beachgoers to stay out of the ocean this week, as Hurricane Larry creates potentially deadly riptides and waves anywhere from 4 to 7 feet along east central Florida shorelines. The storm is over 1,500 miles offshore, moving northwest at 9 miles per hour, but forecasters expect 115-mile-per-hour winds will create hazardous conditions in western Atlantic waters through Friday. The federal weather scientists issued a rip current statement Tuesday saying there was a high risk of the deadly offshore moving currents. And lastly, tailgating is back for Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans. The team announced tailgating will be permitted at Raymond James Stadium for tomorrow night's season opener against the Dallas Cowboys, and masks will be encouraged but not required. And right here in our high school football, through 2 weeks of the high school football season, many are still out there for teams, as only 3 have played 2 games and 2 teams have yet to step onto the field. Of the teams that played in week 2, Vero Beach picked up a nice bounce back victory against Bardo, pulling away in the fourth quarter. Centennial and Fort Pierce Central also were impressive, securing their first wins of 2021. Yes, we did see St. Lucie West Centennial High School beating Key West at the South County Stadium here in Port St. Lucie on Friday evening. Our news time is 8:48, and we'll have weather and traffic together next.
$8:49 on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's the Wednesday morning edition. It's time for traffic and weather together. Bonnie?
Seeing that accident this morning, it's on I-95 northbound in Fort Pierce at mile marker 126. And there's not any roadblocks, so if you're heading up that way, I-95 northbound in Fort Pierce, there's an accident, but traffic moving through there okay. Back here in Martin County, it's looking like a good ride. Major highways right here are clear, and the streets and roads throughout Stewart, Palm City, looking good. Your latest look at traffic. Stewart, 78 degrees, and it's 69 and cloudy in Helen, Georgia. Here's our weather at WPTV.
Your WPTV First Alert forecast calls for temperatures this morning in the mid to upper 70s under mostly clear skies and rain-free for the morning commute. This afternoon, highs in the low 90s, heat index values in the triple digits, and scattered late-day showers and storms possible. Tomorrow, highs in the low 90s, scattered showers and storms picking up during the evening hours. Some of those storms could produce locally heavy downpours. Friday, hot and humid as highs climb to the low 90s. Scattered afternoon to evening showers and storms possible.
I'm WPTV First Alert Meteorologist Katya Hall on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
If you have a suggestion for the show, we would love to hear from you. Send us an email to WSTUmorningshow@gmail.com. Now let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
Do you ever feel there's a million forms every time they go back to their schools and dorms? Do you ever feel a little deja vu because every form, it seems the same to you? Do you ever feel like you shouldn't need to give your great Aunt Edna's medical history?
Hey, Mom, do we have a family history of gout?
Electronics use, expectations form, that's your favorite one. It's basically saying, hey, you will pay for the laptop will break when we spill lemonade on the second flipping day. It's back to school paperwork.
That's a parody of Katy Perry's Firework. It's called Paperwork, Bonnie. Paperwork.
I think I like that version even better than Katy Perry's Firework.
Okay. Pretty good. I give the Holderness family. I give them on a scale of 1 to 10. I give them an 8 on that one.
I'll give him a 7.
Okay,
to
I'll
be
take
fair.
that. 15 points total.
All right.
Wonder what the old man down the road gives them. What do you give them, old man?
Well, I give him. Well, Edna, what do you think?
What's
What?
Edna? What's Edna think?
She says she gives him a 9.
A 9. Oh, okay.
She must really like the Holderness.
Wow. Okay. All right. Very good.
She must really like them then.
Very good. How are you today, old man? How's things going? You don't sound like your normal dapper self this morning. What's going on?
I've been a little tired. We've been driving. We're heading to Las Vegas. Edna says she wants to see Sin City again.
Oh, geez. She's not going to sin, I hope, right?
Well, I'm not going to go that far.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, just keep Edna in tow, okay?
Well, she's in tow, all right. She's in the back. We're towing her on the.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. You have that brand new camper because you guys hit the lottery, from what I can remember, Bonnie. They hit the lottery.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's living large now.
I
He's
guess
making
so.
more money than us.
Don't gamble it all away in Vegas.
Yeah.
Be careful.
We're good. Well, it's like they said, you don't want to bet the farm on certain things.
Well, that's
So
true.
we're not going to bet. We're not even going to bet the camper on this one.
Well, don't. I wouldn't do that. I definitely wouldn't do that. Hey, real quick, old man, I want to test your knowledge with a quick round of slogan off here, okay? I'm going to read a slogan, and you have to tell me what you think it is, okay? What the item is.
All righty.
All right, here we go. Looks like you just had a sip of a beverage there. Okay, here we go.
My chocolate milk.
All right, very good. Here we go. The pause that refreshes. The pause that refreshes. What do you think it is?
The pause that
refreshes. Yeah, what do you think it is?
Gosh. I know an answers.
No. Incorrect. Bonnie, you want to take a stab at it? Pause that refreshes.
Maybe a pause for some Gatorade.
Coca-Cola.
All right.
All right.
That beverage.
All right, here we go, old man.
They
You ready?
keep changing it.
Here we go, old man. Breakfast of Champions.
Oh, that's Wheaties. Breakfast of
Very
Champions.
good. Okay.
I always see Bruce Jenner on my box of Wheaties.
There you
Whenever
go.
Wheaties, Bruce Jenner comes to mind.
All right, here you go, old man. Here's another one. All the news that's fit to print.
Or the news it's fit to print.
Yeah.
Would that be the Palm Beach Post? No.
Incorrect. Bonnie, what do you think?
The Stewart News.
Incorrect. It's the New York Times.
I was
All right.
going to say that, but I want to stay away from New York.
Oh, okay. All right. Here we go, old man. Here's another one for you. Sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't.
Sometimes you don't. Oh gosh, that is right. What is that? Oh, she says she's not going to give me help.
Okay. What do you think it is?
Oh,
5 seconds.
Oh, I know what it is. My
Bonnie, what do you
goodness.
think it is?
I think Edna would love an almond joy. I'm sure she loves the
Oh,
coconut.
Very good.
Yes. Oh,
All right,
my
here
goodness.
we go. Last one, old man. Good to the last drop.
Oh, my goodness. Is that Folgers?
Bonnie?
Oh, it must be Maxwell House then. I knew it was one of the two.
All I got to say is Bonnie kicked your butt today.
Today.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
She kicked your butt today, old man.
And we'll have another round sometime.
We will.
Yes,
We'll invite you in for another round.
Go have another round on me and go have a beverage. How's that? Okay.
So what should I put on the craps table? 13 black.
Yeah, 15 black. Yeah, please. 15 black.
Okay.
15 black and 30 on 30 red.
Okay.
All right, very good. Have a great time. Have a great time in Vegas, old man.
Okay, you too down there.
Say goodnight, old man. Say goodnight,
Good night,
old man. There we go. That's the old man down the road, Bonnie.
Yeah, he's glad he's in Vegas. Glad somebody is in Vegas having a good time.
And remember, if you have good values on the inside, you won't look for validation on the outside, folks. Make it a great day.
Yeah, enjoy your middle of the week. Stay productive. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye. We'll see you in 21 hours right here at WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station.